Okay, hello everybody. This is Jackie Cox, and I am super excited to be interviewing our upcoming speakers for the ACE meeting, which is Adventure, Creativity, and Enjoyment. Our meeting is on Monday, July 8th, 3 to 5 p.m. at Bucket List Tavern in Castle Rock. And so we're starting off, we have Tasha Beckman here. I'm just going to do a quick introduction of Tasha, and then we'll get rolling with some just fun questions. So Tasha, welcome, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. It's awesome. So Tasha has been a Denver resident since 1982. Basically, you can call yourself a native, I would think, but they don't like
Not
that.
according
They
to
don't
my
like that.
husband. Oh.
They don't like that. So Tasha has a proven track record of repeat business, client and friend referrals, and most importantly, building lifelong friendships. When she is not working, find her on the golf course, playing with one of the family dogs, and now a grandbaby. Yes, and exploring antique auctions or spending time with family and friends, enjoying a glass of good wine and a great steak. Tasha is the broker owner of Exit Mosaic Realty and is passionate about creating an extraordinary experience for clients in the real estate process. So super excited to have you here, Tasha. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
So
Jackie.
why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what types of things you like to do for fun while we're here?
Well, as you mentioned, I love to golf. So I think if I could live on a golf course literally daily, not a house on a golf course, but be on the golf course every day, that's where you would find me.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, so much good business happens on a golf course. So I think it's awesome that you picked up that habit as well.
Well, and golf tells you a lot about someone, right? How
Sure.
they show up, what their integrity is, whether they think someone's watching or not, how they handle stressful situations. I actually
Yeah.
fired a banker once because he threw a club into a lake after the round.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
moved all my accounts. I had 14 accounts at the bank. I'd been there a long time. And he called me on Monday and said, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, when you figure it out, you can call me."
Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's just no reason for that. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still a game. So relax. If you're not great at it, there's ways to practice and there's ways to improve yourself. But showing your frustration like that, especially when he had a client with them, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a great golfer. I can hold my own most days,
Sure.
right? But golf is a game of consistency, or at least that's what you're chasing. And
Sure.
the worse I play, the more I giggle because it's like, okay, I'm in control of that behavior.
Yeah.
I don't get wrapped around the axle because, I mean, the whole viewpoint was if you're going to get wrapped around it like that in a game, what are you going to do if we ever have another kind of conflict, especially on the financial side?
Right.
So, I don't get all tied up on those
Yeah.
kinds of things. I mean, our job is to solution. No matter what we do for our work, our job is
Yes.
to solution for our
Yeah.
customers, for our employees, for ourselves. And
Yeah.
so, that's not a great solution of throwing a club. It wasn't the club's fault.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. So I think that's so interesting. So I see Ray is here as well, and Beth is just signing in. But we're gonna finish kind of chatting with Tasha here before she has to leave. But then we're gonna include everybody in the conversation. So welcome, Beth and Ray. I appreciate you being here. So Tasha, tell us a little bit about one piece of advice you might have been either you'd like to tell your younger self now, or you'd like to tell the next generation of people as they're coming into business, as they're coming into the real estate industry, or any industry for that matter. What's one piece of advice you just would love to share?
I would say live every day with the rule of 5. And
Okay.
that is it going to matter in 5 minutes? Is it going to matter in 5 years?
Beautiful.
So take a deep breath and really decide if this is worth stressing about.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And that's so much truth to that. And that, I think that falls in line with where the premise behind ACE community is we all need to relax a little bit more, have a little bit more fun, and try not to take life quite so seriously. There's a time and place for being professional and serious and things like that. But if everything is so serious, then why are we here? What are we doing?
Right. Right. Life's too short to get, really tied up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I so appreciate that. I so appreciate that. So that's awesome. Christine, welcome. We're glad to have you here as well. So it was easy to add everybody. So that's awesome. So Tasha, as we finish up here with you, so I mean, besides golf and what is the one thing that you love to do for fun? Maybe it's with your kids or your grandbaby, or the types of things that you like to take part in to, really fulfill that family side of things as well.
I absolutely love to travel with my family and
Oh, I love
explore
it.
new cultures, new vistas, new opportunities. I don't like going back to the same place all the time. So we don't have a second home somewhere because I get bored really easily.
Nice.
But I like seeing the wonder and curiosity in my kids' faces and can't
Nice.
wait to do the same thing with my granddaughter.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that you mentioned culture and learning new things too. I think that's such a beautiful thing about travel is just being able to understand where other people's point of view and perspectives come from and what how they've been taught to grow up and live in their own world and things like that. So I think it's so beautiful
Right.
that you mentioned culture.
Yeah.
Memories, I tell you what, are the biggest thing. That is one of my highest love language is quality time. So I love that you mentioned that time together. That's the memories. They will stick with them forever. I mean, your granddaughter, baby granddaughter now, you're making memories with her right now, whether she knows it or not, right?
Right.
And that's so beautiful.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Tasha, what else would you like to share before I know that you had to kind of run out of here, but you're certainly welcome to stay on as long as you like.
Unfortunately, I have to leave, but what
Yeah,
I would say, because we are all about community and engagement and getting everyone together, is that if any of the people that are watching this have an opening in their calendar, absolutely come and join us. You won't be
yeah.
sorry that you did.
Yay, I appreciate that. So again, our meeting is on Monday, July 8th, 3 to 5 p.m. at Bucket List Tavern in Castle Rock. So Tasha, thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to hear
Absolutely.
your nuggets on Monday, the 8th, and we look forward to having you in front of our audience again.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Tasha. Hello to all of my other lovely speakers here. I am so glad to have you here. I am going to introduce all of you really quick, and then we're just going to have a nice conversation. I'll be able to include all of you in the conversation. Tasha's and mine was a little bit more one-on-one because we started her early knowing she had to leave a little early. But I'm going to introduce all of you, and then we're just going to have some fun conversation. It's no stress around this. ACE is a fun community, so this is a fun interview as well. So thanks for being here, everybody. All right, so starting off, Beth Overstreet is currently a part-time reservist for FEMA and recently returned from supporting tornado survivors in Nebraska. Thank you for your service. She also volunteers on the board of directors for Colorado Feeding Kids, an all-volunteer nonprofit based in Denver, providing nutritious food to impoverished people in Colorado. Beth published her first book this last November, Abide in Love. Congratulations, Beth. That's so awesome. She's been an active prayer chaplain since 2017 and director for the prayer chaplain team of Unity Columbine since June of 2020. She has had a long career as a mechanical engineer, project manager, director, and portfolio manager. And she's also a veteran of the U.S. Air Force. Thank you so much for your service and welcome, Beth. We really appreciate you being here. Absolutely. So next we're going to introduce Christine. Christine, I took your introduction from your LinkedIn profile. So Christine Fletcher is committed to a client satisfaction and it drives her to work diligently on every loan. Her dedication is only part of the story. With more than 30 years of mortgage experience and a thorough knowledge of mortgage lending throughout Colorado, Christine can help you to find a loan that meets your financial needs and get you to closing on time. So Christine, so glad to have you here. And then finally, Ray Brown is consistently at the top 8% of agents in the Pikes Peak region and receives rave reviews from his clients. He brings a deep knowledge of the Pikes Peak community. Ray has an extensive background in customer service and always works to give his clients a great experience. His specialty is helping first-time homebuyers and people who are experiencing a life transition, job change, location change, or other significant life event. I view his words, he says, I view a home as both a refuge and an investment, which I've heard him say multiple times. I also try to help my clients see their way clear to choosing the right home. So welcome to Ray, Christine, and Beth. We're so glad to have you guys.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
yeah, we're excited. So why don't we just kind of go around the room just briefly, and just in addition to the bio I just read, just tell us a little bit about you and what you're loving about life right now, and just kind of just briefly, and that'll kind of start a conversation off. Ray, go ahead. We'll start with you.
Let's see. Well, the thing I'm enjoying right now is playing in my garden, my backyard. I just put some vegetables in, got tomato plants, pepper plants, some strawberries. And then I also added some florals this year,
Ooh,
which
nice.
are turning out to be very low maintenance, and very pretty, much prettier than half dead green stalks of tomatoes trying to grow. So, but I love this time of year where it's warm outside. I have affinity for the warmth, and so that's what I'm really digging it. Yesterday, I had my I turned my hot tub down to 80.
Oh, wow.
And so yesterday, this whole week it's been so hot, so I just went out and splashed around in the hot tub for about an hour and a half,
Yeah,
working.
nice.
And yeah, so it was really nice.
Yeah, cool. It's a cool tub now.
It's a cool tub. That's right. Cool off tub.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know that how much gardening has just really been such a treat for you. And I think that's such a beautiful hobby that you can, have something that you're producing as well as that time, that earth time. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, there's something about it.
There is something about it. It grounds you. It actually does. It really, really does. I believe that. Nice. I wish I had more. My thumbs are black. And so unfortunately, I'm not so much with the garden, but it's funny because my mother-in-law always wants to help me out in that space. She's been a master gardener her whole life. And she gets, I think she gets in awe as how bad I really am in the garden. I mean, I touch things and they turn the wrong way and they're like, please stop.
Well, I can't, if it's any consolation, I cannot grow a house plant. I kill those. I could do stuff outside, but not house plants. So
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Sounds good. Well, Beth, let's go to you. What are you enjoying about life right now?
Oh gosh, so much. I'm really lucky in that. But Ray, just a little tidbit. If you plant marigolds in your garden, it helps keep the critters away. So like the bunnies don't like the smell, the squirrels and stuff like that. So marigolds, they're pretty and they help your garden.
oh, thank you. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Welcome.
Deer don't like them either. That's a good suggestion.
I am loving right now that I'm getting to, I have a little free time and I'm getting to visit people that
Okay.
I get to go for a couple hours, go visit this person on this day and that person on another day. And I'm an extrovert, so I just really enjoy, I get energy from people. So it's like I'm soaking it all up.
Love it.
For my reserves and just listening to people tell their stories. You learn so much when you sit and listen. So I'm really enjoying that right now.
That's amazing. Well, I love that. And there was a key word in there, listening, as well as higher extroverts. I mean, I think all of us are extroverts on this call. I think we love to just share as well, but we have to remember that the listening part of it is so beautiful, and that's what makes relationships go so well. And ultimately, if you can hold a conversation, that's amazing then, right? And not just doing the whole talking all of the time. So that's so awesome. I love that part. Thanks, Beth. And Christine, how about you? What are you enjoying most about life right now?
I guess being light on my feet. This time of year, with the bank, there's usually plenty of what we call branding activities. So lots of festivals, places that we're putting up our tent and getting out marketing materials and just kind of branding our bank. So I don't think I have a weekend free through July where I'm not doing something, between the Dragon Boat Festival, the Pride Festival, the Black Arts Festival, and I think there is the Donor Dash. So
nice.
Lots of fun things with that. Still keeping up my volunteer work, which this afternoon I'm going to go teach some people about budgeting, some career life skills, which I'm super excited about doing. And then just the regular work stuff and life. So just kind of keeping light on my feet, and just keep going. Live in the moment as you can. But doing all the things that are needed to be done this year, at this time of year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All of you are very heavily involved in the community, which I think is so incredible. And so Christine, you kind of led with that, although Beth's introduction has some volunteered listing as well. So Christine, what do you, when your company does a lot of these festivals, are you taking a lot of the lead on some of it, or do you feel like you're, more on the sideline, not sidelines, but in the background, kind of the workhorse, or what parts do you play in the volunteer part?
It depends on the group. So sometimes it will be the bank in general, and sometimes it's the mortgage team. In my past life, I had an art gallery and was able to put together a artist reception in an hour. So consummate party planner type of person. So a lot of times I probably do this to myself. I take on that lead position of saying, here's all the things that we're going to need. Let's be completely prepared for whatever could happen. And I'll set up, and then I might do that. The first section, like the Black Arts Festival, I think I come in at noon on a Friday afternoon, set everything up, work the booth for 3 hours, and then I'll come back on late Friday, and finish up, and then take down the booth and return everything to where everything goes. So wow. Yeah, I tend to do it, and sometimes I need to not be that person. I'm not very good at saying no. I got to be a little bit better at it.
I think that's beautiful though. So tell me, and this question's for all of you. So because we're, our foundation is community as well. When you feel like you're out in the community and you're volunteering like that, how do you feel like that has helped you in either your life or your business, helped you either with lessons learned along the way or just people you've met? How do you feel like it's helped you? And I think everybody can pop in on this question.
I think for me, and it's the branding activities, usually just kind of fun. It's nice. The volunteering, for those of us that are in a world of commissions, right? Mm-hmm. where your income does this.
Yeah.
You can get in a space every once in a while when things are not necessarily going your way. Or you're not feeling like you're as successful as you want to be. Mm-hmm. There is something incredibly amazing about going and doing some volunteering, especially if you're doing some stuff, school kids, food for people. I mean, just those kinds of things. And you maybe, we did something for Food Bank of the Rockies. We moved 17,000 pounds of apples into 30-pound boxes. Amazing. Really fun. But there's a thought that goes behind that as you're finishing up and going, that was interesting. But then I get to look at my life in a better place of gratitude. What do I really have? When you're kind of feeling in that weird space about, I'm not doing enough to be successful, backing up and realizing how much you are doing to impact your community, but how am I doing personally? And the paychecks of the heart with volunteering are amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so Beth or Ray, do you want to chime in on that too, of where do you feel like, do you feel like volunteering is a space where you can help bring the next generation along? Do you feel like it's a space of, feeling connected to the community? What is the biggest thing for you when it comes to volunteering?
I think for me, it's about interacting with people, because you get exposed to so many different people than you would normally be in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day work life. You tend to get to the same kinds of people, at least that's been my experience. So when I volunteer in different areas, I get exposed to different people from different backgrounds, from different socioeconomics, from different age groups. It's so fun when people do bring their children to volunteer efforts, because I think you teach them that you get so much more when you give. It's a circle, right? You give and you get back. And so I really enjoy the differences that I get exposed.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And Ray, how about you? Do you want to chime in on this a little bit? I know you're very involved in your community as well.
Yeah, I do. I think the biggest, I think because I'm involved in the community and because several of us are,
Mhm.
it keeps us out of a rut. And I,
Yeah.
s- I think, I mean, some people struggle with depression. I thankfully, I've never struggled with depression,
Sure.
but I have gotten in a rut. And I know I'm in a rut when I start complaining a lot,
Oh.
whether inside or out. But when I engage with a community, I found the best way to mitigate that rut or that negativity is to start
Mhm.
serving other people. And so
Mhm.
I go to these activities to pour myself into other people. And that's the second point is, um, I mean, people have said it before, but life is about people and relationships.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
like Beth said, it's a back and forth, it's a give and a take. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like I was reading an acting book way back in college, and Laurence Olivier talked about this exchange of himself and his character, not with other actors necessarily, but he's engaging in that, in that world. And he said it takes something out of you, but it puts something back in. And
Mm.
that's true of every human interaction.
Yeah.
And it is a way to invest in others, get the focus off myself.
Yeah.
And frankly, I like to experience new stuff. It's just a lot of fun to go do new stuff with new people. So
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, Christine, you mentioned it briefly, the piece of gratitude that you feel when you're volunteering and things like that. And it goes both ways, right? We give gratitude by being able to be of service and things like that. We also receive gratitude because it ultimately, like, we're there to help people and it makes us feel good in the process too.
Mhm.
Hopefully, right? I mean, hopefully you're not being dragged to volunteer, right? But with the gratitude piece, share with us just a little bit about one thing in your one piece of advice or one thing that you've been super grateful for that you continue to lean on. And I think all of you can answer that question as well.
Hmm. Um, I don't know. When you go through the ebbs and flows of your income stream, and you go out and you're packing lunches actually not even packing lunches. You are packing bags of food that go home with children so that they have enough food to eat all weekend. And there's something that your heart just gets really big, and feeling good, helping them have a
Yeah.
better life. And then you just come back to your space, and you just kind of you knock down a few pegs and go, I'm really lucky. I
Mhm.
don't I don't have an empty fridge. I may not have everything that I was hoping for, but I have enough. And once I
Absolutely.
can pull myself back into that space, um, that part of that gratitude, then I can take that back out and do this over and over again. And I love that feeling, when you can make a difference, and you
Yeah.
may not ever see it, but every once in a while you do, and it's really amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's being able to appreciate, when you're in that community setting and then coming back to your own setting, it's being able to appreciate now the smaller things, right? It's not,
Mhm.
and I'm not talking about things, material things. I'm talking about, I'm grateful that I am breathing. I'm grateful that I have good energy. I'm grateful that I'm positive, right? I mean, so those things you start seeing outside of the material things, which I'm certainly grateful for. I'm grateful that I have a house. I'm grateful that I have food on the table. I'm grateful for, being able to have transportation to go from place to place to experience more things. So I'm grateful for some things as well. But I think when we start really, really embracing what gratitude means for us, it does go deeper.
It's interesting because a lot of times when you're doing this type of volunteer work, you're doing stuff at the basic needs level,
Mhm.
and we get a little farther away from it, and to pull yourself back into basic needs
Mhm.
and go, okay, how can I help? And you don't
Mhm.
mind doing it. I
Right.
don't mind it. Sometimes I'm underneath the Colfax Viaduct doing food for thought at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning in a snowstorm, walking in circles, packing bags. You
Yeah.
know, you,
Good for
you
you.
just, it's good.
That's awesome. How about either of you, Ray or Beth? Gratitude in your lives. I know both of you, all of you, we all do. I mean, I think we all sit in this space of feeling grateful and, an appreciation for people and who we are and the things around us. So how do you want to chime in on this?
Um, I think one of the things that maintaining a posture of teachability
Love
um,
that.
is critical, I think, for most people. And I remember running into people that you just kind of, and this is a long time ago. I'm a better person now. I got a long ways to go too, but you meet somebody and you view that relationship as inconsequential, and or that person has nothing to contribute, or they're so dumb or whatever. And I have learned that that is the biggest mistake. There's
Mm,
not been a single person that I've engaged in with a conversation that hasn't taught me something, and that I haven't
mhm,
been able to teach them something or engage. And
mhm,
sometimes it's not even like a didactic, teaching moment. It's just an exchange of love and appreciation and sharing.
mhm,
Um, but I think I'm so thankful that I came to the point where I see people that way. So I no
mhm.
longer look past people. I
Beautiful.
really, truly see them as a treasure trove. They
Mhm.
have something to share. Maybe I have something to share with them. So I don't know if
Mhm.
that makes sense, but
Yeah, I mean, kindness is king, right? I mean, kindness will
mm,
will win always, and so I always joke that I don't have terrible road rage by any means, but I do like to have a lead foot, and if people are in the left lane, I'm like, just get moving, just go. But really, I stop and think, I'm like, really, are they so deep in thought right now that they don't even have any idea that they're just in this lane or whatever? Give them a space, gives them some space, right? It's really not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. I can go around them. And so,
yeah.
and same thing with other things. There are things where it's like, if you see or feel yourself getting annoyed a little bit, it's like, what is their home life like? What is their situation like? And if we stop and think about that, again, kindness wins. And so I think that is good growth along the way for all of us. So it's good that
Well,
you
and the other side of that coin is I have value. Just like everybody I come in contact with has value, I have
absolutely.
value. And that's why I used to see the world that way when I was a young man, because I was in relationships and family situations where
Mhm.
I was clearly communicated that I had no value,
Mm,
and things turned around. That's why I'm so grateful for that, because what a funk
mhm.
that would be to live that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Beth? Would you like to chime in on this?
I'd say, I mean, first of all, Christine and Ray, you speak so eloquently. There's so many truths in that. I would say I'm really grateful for all of the events in my life, even the horrible ones, the ones that I thought, oh my God, my life is over. What am I going to do? Whether it's a loss of a job, a loss of a partner, just all those things. But I'm grateful for them because they all contributed to who I am now.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
I love who I am now. And I'm so grateful that I can love who I am now. And
right.
that the judgment, we all have that inner voice telling us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not this enough or that enough. But to have a strong voice inside that says, you're good. I love myself. I'm so
Mhm,
grateful for that perspective. And all the things in my life have, funneled me into where I am now. And I look forward to all the things that are coming and to
mhm.
continue that journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, yes, and we are more than enough, right? We are more, every single one of us, we are more than enough. And if we can all remember that, and that's just, I mean, that's a great nugget for anyone, younger generation, current generation, and any of it, just to say, you're enough. You are enough, and that's what matters, and more than enough on any given day. And, when we have those insecurities that pop in and things like that, it's like, well, if we can remind ourselves, I am enough, and that's okay today. And if enough was 10% today, great.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what you can give that day. But maybe then tomorrow looks better and it's more like 55% tomorrow, And so then you just keep improving and just keep telling yourself, yes, life is good. I deserve to be here and I'm more than enough. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So in the last few minutes here, I would love for all of you to tell our audience, what do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned, either in life or business, that you would like to share with the audience? Again, it can be either you looking back at your younger self and what you know now, you wish you knew then type of thing, or maybe it's you know, someone new coming into your industry or someone new coming into your space. What would you like to share with them? Piece of advice, whether it's related to life or business? I'd love to hear it.
I'd have to go, I'm going to steal from Ram Dass and say, be here now.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Yep.
in the moment you're in fully. And kind of, you mentioned it earlier, Jackie, and saying, listen, right? Feel everything now. Don't focus so much on what's going to happen, you know, tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and don't fuss and fret and beat yourself up over the mistake you made 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago. You know, be here now, enjoy every experience. When I was heavy into industry and traveling a lot, I told my team members, when you're in a new town, go visit something in that town. Don't, you know, look back 20 years later and say, well, I was in the hospital and the airport of every town in the US. Say, you know, use the experiences, meet the people, be here now.
I love it. So good. Thank you, Beth. That's great advice. Christine or Ray, who would like to go next?
Go ahead, Christine.
Oh, dang. That steals mine, be in the moment, which definitely that is my life lesson right now, which because of the industry that I'm in, there's a lot of pulls on your time often, and being able to shut off the phone and have those moments and really engage. So Beth, great response.
Yeah.
I think the one, you know, I read a lot of books. There's a couple of ladies, I read a lot of business books and they're not always fun. The one that I like to really go back to is Dr. Brené Brown, and that's leaning in to the people that you're working with, dealing with, relationships with, because you never know where they're at. I found that especially since I deal with people that are very anxious because there's a loan, there's a house that needs to be sold, all of those things. And the way people react is always a little bit different. And by being able to lean into whatever is their insecurity and lean in with mine, I'm able to get to the root of the problems a little bit more successfully and solve those issues and have a clear communication style with them. And I was very lucky to see her in Las Vegas when she was promoting the book, and I got a free copy and I had it for a while and then chose to read it. And it's one of my favorites. So yeah, she's great.
That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Christine. And how about you, Ray? Words of wisdom.
Is this a preview of what we're talking about next week?
It sure can be, yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna save that because took me forever to
got
come
a
up
nugget.
with that.
He's
But
nugget.
I got something else. It ties in with it, but it's so I think it was around 2013, 14. I was working with a client, and this is before all the housing prices went crazy. But I had his house listed for about 600,000, and then he was going to buy another $550,000 house. So very important to the business. But very gradually over time, he started treating me and interacting with me very disrespectfully. And I finally hit a breaking point. It was the first time with a client that I'd really hit a point where I was like, I've had enough of that. And so I fired him.
Good for
or
you.
as we say, I reintroduced him to the marketplace.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
So I think my nugget is set boundaries, set them early on, know your boundaries and know why. You can't just set a boundary. You have to understand why. I had to understand why that was a boundary for me. And I think that's the thing I would tell my younger self.
That's good. Such good advice. All really great advice. Boundaries are important. And if we're not careful, because, you know, we all want to help. We all are helpers and we want to help people. And if we don't have boundaries in place, though, they will abuse. They will abuse. And so it's really important to have them in place because you have to protect your own self, your own values, your own integrity, what your own ethics. I mean, all of it. Your own self has to be protected. And the one person that can do that is you. And so that's so beautiful to share. That is great advice. I still share that to this day. Make sure you are in check with your own boundaries and know when to say no and know when to say absolutely yes, and then everything in between, right? And so it's beautiful advice. So I am so grateful for all of you, and I'm so excited for all of you to share your even further nuggets on Monday, July 8th. Again, we do meet from 3 to 5 p.m. that day at Bucket List Tavern in Castle Rock. So we have 5 speakers. Lisa Olson I will be interviewing her on Monday, the 1st. So she's our 5th speaker. She's in Vegas right now at a conference. So, you know, she's enjoying her life and business right now as well. But I'm so grateful to all 5 of you to be our next speaker, because I think our community is going to be so appreciative of just being able to hear your knowledge, your expertise, and what you love about your life and business. So thank you all for your time today and for your energy, and so excited to see you in a couple weeks, or shortly, in less than 2 weeks, I guess. So thank you, everybody. I'm glad you were here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was a lot of fun. Ladies, good to see you.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody.